People are strange sometimes. When I was a kid, my biggest dream was to be a chef. My mother was a professional chef, and I wanted to follow in her footsteps. But life had other plans. When I was very young, she ran off with another chef, leaving my father and me behind. My dad owned a medium-sized supermarket and the land it sat on, so we were well off, but he never remarried. He raised me alone. By high school, I was already a great cook, so I figured I should study business management to eventually run my own restaurant. Life, however, just laughed at me. When it came time to fill out my college applications, I put down business management as my first choice and public relations as my second. I couldn't think of a third, so I handed the form to my best friend and seatmate, Yang Kyun. With one stroke of his pen, he added the police academy and checked the box for subject to adjustment. I ended up getting accepted into the criminal investigation department at the police academy. It was either go or repeat a year of high school. I didn't want to waste time, so I sucked it up and spent 4 years there. During my senior year, I rotated through 3 different internships. I spent 4 months at a local police station, 3 months with the security brigade, and 2 months with the legal affairs department. I spent most of my time reading files, running errands, and assisting with arrests. I never actually solved a single case. My dad teased me about it right up until graduation. By late August 2000, at 22 years old, I passed the exams and was officially recruited by the Qinglu City Public Security Bureau. I was thrilled. After a week of mandatory training and one final test, I was officially in. I dressed in plain clothes and headed to the personnel department at the city bureau to report for duty. Reporting for duty, I said, stepping into the office. A middle-aged man with 2 bars and 2 stars on his shoulders looked up from his paperwork. Du Daong, right? You look sharp. Any thoughts on where you want to be stationed? I complained silently. He already had me assigned. Why even ask? Sir, I will follow whatever orders the bureau gives me. I replied firmly. I'm Fong Jingming, he said. We spent a lot of time deciding where to put you. Your grades were excellent, and your internship evaluations were top tier. I heard your marksmanship is pretty good, too. My instructor said I was decent, sir, I answered. Enough with the sir every 2 seconds, Fong Zhengming said, standing up. We're putting you in the 2nd Criminal Investigation Squadron of the Jintian District. Any objections? None, sir. I follow orders. He handed me a file bag containing my dispatch papers and ID. You're a trainee on paper, but they're short-staffed down there. Nobody is going to treat you like a rookie. He patted my shoulder. Your uniforms were already sent ahead to the squadron. Get moving. I saluted, thanked him, and headed for the door. I made sure to be polite so nobody could call me disrespectful. As I walked downstairs, I let out a breath. I noticed Fong Jingming's stubble was getting long. His wife must be as messy as he is. Then there was the issue with my father. Most sons bankrupt their fathers, but my dad was the opposite. He nearly ruined me with his generosity. To celebrate my new job, he bought me a brand new Audi A6. In the year 2000, an A6 was a massive luxury. My top boss only drove an Audi 200. If I, a lowly trainee, showed up in a shiny new A6, I'd be asking for trouble. Luckily, I convinced him to return it. I bought a Jialing motorcycle instead. If work got slow, I could even use it to give people rides for extra cash. I rumbled down the road on my bike until I found the place. It was a 3-story building behind a large iron gate. There was no reception desk, just a small joint defense office near the entrance. I parked and walked inside. Can I help you? A man in a brown jacket asked. I'm looking for Captain Su of the 2nd Squadron, I said. The man squinted at me. What for? I'm Su Jun. I snapped a salute. Trainee Du Daong reporting for duty. Su Jun jumped, startled by my sudden movement. I didn't care. I shoved my file bag into his hands. Don't be so jumpy, he grumbled, turning toward the stairs. Follow me. As we walked, he flipped through my file. Not bad. Maybe my old mentor finally took pity on me. We stepped into his office. Look, don't call me sir or leader. Just call me Captain Su. I can't stand the formalities. Suddenly, his desk phone rang. He picked it up, listened for a moment, and started taking notes. Understood. Keep the scene secure. I'll be there soon. He hung up and tossed my file on the desk. Ever been to a murder scene? I cursed mentally. I was an intern for a few months at a local station. How would I have seen a murder? No, Captain, I admitted. Su Jun headed for the door, shouting for his team. Zhang Dongqiang. Xiangzi. A woman in her 40s with 2 bars and 1 star walked over. Xiangzi and old Lu are out on a burglary case. What's going on? Possible homicide at Fengxi Mountain Villas, Building 3, Su Jun said. A maid found the body. Officer Guan from the local station is already heading there. I need to go. Who's left in the office? Just me, she said, then looked at me like I was a rare specimen. Who's this? This is Du Daong. The bureau just sent him over as a trainee, Su Jun explained. Du, this is Liang Meixia, our political instructor. Call her Sister Liang. I saluted again. Hello, instructor. Trainee Du Daong reporting for duty. Su Jun slapped his forehead. Cut the reporting crap. Grab your gear. You're coming to the scene with me. Sister Liang smiled and nodded at me as I followed my new boss out the door. I learned quickly that in the 2nd Criminal Investigation Detachment, formalities didn't mean much. Captain Su told me to drop the act. He said our team's public image was terrible anyway, so I should only worry about saluting when the big bosses came for inspection. I scratched my head and gave him a sheepish grin. I was still feeling a bit awkward when the real work started. Su Jun didn't waste a second. He turned to Liang Meixia and told her to call someone named Zhu Wenwan. Apparently, Wenwan was over at the city bureau for some training. Su Jun scoffed at that. He said Wenjuan's mentor was the one actually training, and she was just tagging along for the ride. He wanted her back immediately with the equipment. I'm taking the kid to the scene now, Su Jun said, referring to me. I'll text you the address. When Fan Yang and Tianheng get back, tell them to hurry over there too. Sister Liang nodded and ran upstairs. She came back a moment later with shoe covers and gloves for both of us. We headed outside to a large Jeep Grand Cherokee. Can you drive, Daong? Su Jun asked. I can, I replied. He tossed me the keys without a word. I got us to the scene in less than 15 minutes. A local officer named Old Guan was already there, stretching police tape across the entrance of the villa. He looked to be in his 50s, with 2 bars and 2 stars on his shoulders. Even behind his glasses, his eyes were sharp and full of energy. Who's the kid? Old Guan asked, eyeing me. A trainee from the bureau, Su Jun said. The office was empty, so I brought him along. I stepped forward and gave a crisp salute. Hello, Master Guan. My name is Du Daong. Old Guan chuckled. Sharp kid. All right, get in there with your captain. Don't forget your gear. I already had the shoe covers and gloves Sister Liang had given me. As we entered the yard, Su Jun pointed toward a woman in her 40s standing by the gate. She looked terrified. Go talk to the maid, Su Jun ordered. Find out what happened. I walked over and pulled out my ID. Hello, I'm Du Daong from the 2nd Criminal Investigation Detachment. Are you the one who found the body? Do you remember what time it was? Officer Du, my name is Zhang Xiaolian, she said, her voice trembling. I work for Mr. Li, but I don't live here. I usually leave after I cook dinner. I came in around 9 this morning with groceries and saw the house had been turned upside down. When I went upstairs, I saw Mr. Li. His face was covered in blood. I touched him and he was cold. I called the police right away. Did Mr. Li come home for dinner last night? I asked, jotting notes. I'm not sure, she admitted. The dispatcher told me to wait outside, so I've been here. Also, Mr. Luo, the vice president of Mr. Li's company, called me. I told him what happened, and he said he's on his way. I told her to stay put since she'd need to give a formal statement at the station later. Then, I suited up and stepped into the house. The living room was a mess. Every drawer had been yanked open. I noticed an empty picture frame on the wall. Whatever painting had been inside was gone. It must have been valuable. The floor was littered with cigarette butts and ash. I scanned the ground carefully. Based on the ash patterns, I could see at least 4 different types of shoe prints. There were definitely at least 2 people involved in this. Daong, get up here, Su Jun shouted from the 2nd floor. I carefully picked my way across the floor, avoiding any spots where prints might be. I found Su Jun in the master bedroom. The victim was slumped against the side of the bed facing the door. His hands were tied behind his back. His face was a mask of dried blood. Looking at the splatter, I figured someone had snuck up behind him and smashed the back of his head with something heavy. Before I could speak, we heard shouting from downstairs. Fan Yang, get up here. Su Jun yelled back. Tianheng, stay outside. Bring the equipment up. A young man in his mid-20s, Fan Yang, rushed into the room. Soo-jun introduced me briefly, and Fan Yang gave me a quick nod before he started snapping photos. "Captain," I said, looking around the room. There were at least 2 or 3 killers, and I'm certain one of them was a woman. Soo-jun looked at me, surprised. "Go on." "This looks like a robbery homicide," I continued. "And I don't think it's their first time. The safe is open with no signs of forced entry. They probably forced the victim to give up the code. They were professional. They only searched places where valuables would actually be hidden. They didn't just trash the place randomly." I pointed toward the floor. "And about the woman, downstairs, I saw high-heel prints in the ash. Those prints followed one of the men closely. I saw the same heel marks up here near the body. Plus, the way the victim was hit and then strangled, it was decisive. These people have done this before." Fan Yang stopped clicking his camera and looked at me. "Captain, the Bureau sent us a real pro this time. This kid is good." Soo-jun grinned. "Daeong, you're full of surprises. Keep looking around. See what else you can find." Just then, another voice called out from downstairs. It was Shui Tianhang, announcing that the vice president from the victim's company had arrived. Soo-jun headed down to meet him. The man at the door was Luo Hong. He explained that the victim was Li Qianyuan, the legal representative of an import-export trade company. "Daeong, you done up there? Come down here," Soo-jun called out. He turned to Tianhang. "This is our new trainee, Du Daeong. He's sharp. Say hello, then go upstairs and help Fan Yang with the evidence." I came down and exchanged a quick greeting with Tianhang before Soo-jun gestured toward the vice president. "Daeong, you handle the questioning," Soo-jun said. I opened my notebook. "Mr. Luo, when was the last time you saw Mr. Li?" "We met yesterday at noon," Luo Hong said, looking nervous. "The company received a payment of 200,000 yuan yesterday morning. Mr. Li left 50,000 at the office and took the other 150,000 home with him. We were supposed to have a morning meeting at 9 today, but when he didn't show up, I got worried. I called him multiple times," Luo Hong continued, his voice tight with anxiety. "But his phone was switched off. That's when I called Mrs. Zhang, the nanny." He gestured toward the woman standing nearby. "As soon as I heard Mr. Li had been killed, I rushed straight over." He was talking fast now, the words spilling out in a nervous rush. I looked at him steadily. "Was there a painting in Mr. Li's house? Something very valuable? A piece by Master De Chien is missing." Luo Hong nodded quickly. "Yes, the De Chien painting. Mr. Li and I went to an auction in Xiangjiang last year to get it. It cost 550,000 yuan. Did Mr. Li live here alone?" I asked. "Yes. His wife and children are over in South Korea. Our company's main import-export business is based there." I decided to probe a bit deeper into the victim's personal life. "Do you think Mr. Li, well, was he involved with anyone? Emotionally?" Luo Hing looked confused. I realized I was being too subtle. "I mean, since his wife wasn't around, was there another woman? Someone he was close with?" "I really don't know," Luo Hong replied, shaking his head. "Even if Mr. Li had someone, he wouldn't have let us know about it." "What about other valuables?" I moved on. "Besides the painting, what else did he own that might be missing?" Luo Hing thought for a moment. "From what I've seen, he had a heavy gold chain, a platinum necklace, an Omega watch, and a Rolex. He also had a jade thumb ring and a platinum ring set with diamonds. There should also be some South Korean won and US dollars in the house. Business has been good lately, so we all keep some foreign currency on hand." "When exactly did you part ways with Mr. Li yesterday at noon?" I scribbled in my notebook. "And did he take any calls in front of you before he left?" "No," Luo Hong said. "He left normally. Everything seemed the same as any other day." I gave Soo-jun a quick nod. The interview was yielding good leads. "Mr. Luo, you can't leave just yet. We'll need you to come down to the station later to give a formal statement." Before I could finish, a police car screeched to a halt right in front of the door. The tires hissed as the vehicle stopped barely 2 meters from where I was standing. I felt a surge of annoyance. I wanted to give the driver a piece of my mind. "Zhu Wenwan, can't you be more careful?" Soo-jun shouted. "The department is short on funds. If you wreck that car, we don't have the money to fix it." The door swung open and a female officer hopped out of the driver's seat, clutching a forensics kit. She looked to be about 23 or 24, tall and striking. Behind her, A man in his 30s stepped out of the passenger's side, grinning at Su Jun. Chen Jianwei. Su Jun grumbled at the man. You're old enough to know better. Why do you let this girl drive like a maniac? One of these days, your wife is going to beat you senseless. Don't start with me. Chen Jianwei laughed, waving a hand dismissively. He looked over at me. Is this the new guy? Hello, Master Chen, I said, keeping my tone polite and professional. I'm Du Daong. I was assigned to the 2nd Squadron today as a trainee. Don't be so formal, Chen Jianwei replied. I'm the lead forensic doctor for the brigade. This is my apprentice, Zhu Wenwan. She's the squadron's medical examiner. Hello, Sister Wenwan, I said with a smile. My mouth was always quick with a compliment. Back at the academy, if there had been any girls half as pretty as her, I probably would have tried to date a couple of them. She smiled back. Not bad. You're the youngest in the team now. My master and I are going in first. We'll talk later. As they headed inside to change into their gear, a few more officers arrived from the local station to assist. I turned back to Su Jun. Captain, we need to get the victim's phone number and pager ID from Mr. Luo. We need to check the call logs immediately. I've already sent someone from the local station to the bureau to handle that, Su Jun said. We'll wait here until the scene is cleared. You've seen everything inside. Tell me, what's your take on this? I took a breath. Aside from what I mentioned earlier, I think this was a honey trap designed specifically for a high-value robbery. The suspects might have a gambling debt or a drug habit. Also, the female suspect likely knew the victim personally, and quite well. That's all I have for now. I'll need the physical evidence and the autopsy report to say more. Su Jun looked at me, impressed. Your fundamentals are solid. You have a good eye and strong analytical skills. You flatter me, Captain, I said. I'm not flattering you, he countered. Last year, they sent us a trainee who was worlds apart from you. I ended up writing a report and having him transferred to work at the detention center. I realized then that if I hadn't shown some competence, I'd probably be stuck at a local station filing household registration papers. Su Jun believed a criminal investigator needed a sharp sixth sense and keen observation, not just book learning. One small mistake could stall a case or lead to disaster. We stood at the door for another half hour as Su Jun walked me through the nuances of the job. I listened intently, soaking it all in. I was about to thank him when Fan Yang and Xue Tianhang emerged from the house. The four of us met up outside the house. Su Jun wasted no time in repeating my analysis to Fan Yang and Xue Tianhang. Damn, Fan Yang muttered, looking at me with new eyes. Sounds like we've got a regular Sherlock Holmes on our hands. We'll see how it pans out. If your theory hits the mark, Daong, you're buying us dinner. I let out a dry laugh. Wait, if I'm right, I have to pay. I knew there was a logic to it that I just hadn't grasped yet. Su Jun didn't let the banter last long. He turned to the other two with a sharp nod. Fan Yang, Tianhang, take Mr. Luo and Mrs. Zhang back to the station. Get detailed statements from both of them. Daong and I are heading to the phone company. Yes, Captain. They didn't argue. They loaded the witnesses into the car and drove off. Captain Su, are we waiting for Sister Wenwan and the others? I asked. Su Jun nodded. The physical evidence is mostly bagged. Let's see if the forensic team found anything else before we move. I watched the front door. Forensic Dr. Chen and Zhu Wenwan were already stepping out, peeling off their protective suits. The body was being prepped for transport. I'll have the autopsy report for you by evening at the earliest, Chen Jianwei said, walking over while stripping off his gloves. But I can tell you this much now. The victim wasn't killed by a blunt object. It was mechanical asphyxiation. From the looks of it, he was strangled with his own necktie. Su Jun thanked him. Old Chun, Daong, and I are going to pull the call logs. We'll do a briefing after dinner. Your report won't be ready until then anyway, and we need to do some door-to-door legwork. If we get the foundation solid now, the rest will go smoothly. Sounds like a plan, Chen agreed. See you tonight. We drove straight to the phone company. By the time we arrived, colleagues from the local precinct had already secured the records. Su Jun handed the papers to me. Check the last call the victim made, or received. We need to find that person immediately. I scanned the list, tracing the timestamps. The final call was at 11:57 p.m. last night. I ran the number through the system. It belonged to a man named Zhang Xian, a local living on 2nd Road in the Baoshan district. A quick background check revealed he had a prior record for theft. We didn't waste a second. Jun and I grabbed 2 officers and 3 community security members and headed for Zhang Xian's neighborhood. The security guys knew the layout like the back of their hands. They quickly blocked off the 2 most likely escape routes. Jun, another officer named Wang, and I were in plain clothes. As we rounded the corner toward the apartment entrance, I saw a group of guys loitering, smoking, and talking trash. I decided to play a part. "Brother Su, Brother Wang," I shouted, my voice loud and obnoxious. "You think this kid ran off because he owes the big boss money? If we catch him tonight, I'm taking the cash and heading straight to see Fei Fei." Officer Wang caught on instantly and played along. Jun pulled out a pack of cigarettes, lit one, and tossed the pack to me. I walked right up to the group of loiterers, acting like a debt collector. "Hey guys, I'm looking for someone. Anyone seen Huang Dajuan around here?" I asked, handing out cigarettes to each of them. When I got to the last man, I paused. I leaned in and whispered, "Wait, aren't you Zhang Xian? Long time no see, boss." The man looked up, startled. "You know me?" By then, Jun and the rest of the team had closed the circle. We had them surrounded. "Zhang, take a look at this photo," I said, shoving a picture into his hand. As his head dropped to look at the image, I caught Officer Wang's eye. In one fluid motion, I swept Zhang Xian's leg and grabbed his arm, slamming him face first into the dirt. "Police, don't move," Jun barked, drawing his service weapon. The other guys he'd been chatting with stood there frozen, completely bewildered as the other officers moved in to cuff them. I clicked the metal rings onto Zhang Xian's wrists. "Let's check his place," I said to Jun. "He definitely lives in this building." "Who else is at home?" Jun asked the man on the ground. "Officer, what did I do?" Zhang Xian groaned, his face pressed into the gravel. Jun knelt beside him. "Last night, after midnight. Where were you? What were you doing? Tell me now, and it counts as a confession." I reached into Zhang Xian's pockets and fished out a set of keys and a phone. "Captain, he's in 202. I'm going up to scout it out." "Wang, go with him," Jun ordered. "Stay sharp." While the rest of the team hauled the suspects toward the vans, Wang and I headed upstairs. I tried the keys one by one until the lock clicked. The apartment was a small 2-bedroom, maybe 60 square meters. It was surprisingly tidy, but 2 heavy bags tucked in the corner of the small bedroom caught my eye. I unzipped them. One was filled with industrial bearings. The other was packed with pure copper plates. I searched the drawers and found a bankbook, but the balance was 0. There was nothing else of value, just the stolen industrial scrap. Looking at the evidence, my gut told me Zhang Xian wasn't our killer. I didn't feel that vibe of violence from him, but he was definitely involved in something.